you guys are anything like me, your first or maybe very early experience with motorsports was probably through a video game. Firing up the PlayStation and picking out one of your favorite cars to drive on a track you probably had no idea even existed is likely a core memory for you. Spending hours by yourself or with your friends trading paint with AI racers was thrilling, challenging, and loads of fun. For me, it was pretty easy to revolve my whole personality around the basis of these racing video games. Collecting credits and buying new cars from manufacturers around the world probably became something close to an addiction, something that we all probably struggle with to this day in reality. The process in the game was simple. Buy a car, learn the track, practice and race, modify the car to get faster, race again, win, get those credits, and repeat until you are the series champion. In real life, it's kind of the same process, just not as simple. Complexities of reality and actually getting fast on track, not just doing your first track day, truly takes a level of dedication, skill, money, and determination that many would aspire to, but likely won't accomplish. I've been chasing lap times for 20 years now. I'm still not fast. Some might say it might be time for a different hobby, but as drivers know, the development process of yourself and your car never ends. And it's why I love the track. To me, the track is a true test of man and machine. Not only does your car have to perform, but you have to make it perform. And in this video, we're going to see just how well I can perform on track in the real world and find out just how far apart the BRZ is from my GT3 at the world famous Laguna Seca Raceway. Before we actually get to the track, I need to give you guys some background. Some of you may already know that this series with my BRZ TS is an attempt to get it to feel and perform like my 997.2 GT3. A tall order, as many of you have already clearly stated in the comments of my previous video. We've already done a review on the road feel, so it's time to get some objective data from the track. Now, for the sake of transparency, I've already done a few days of lapping with my GT3 at Laguna Seca back in October of 2023. This event was with Grid Life, where I was competing in their track battle time attack series. I was able to achieve a lap time of 142.51 during competition, which we are using as the baseline lap time for the GT3. Not an impressive lap by any means, but what I was capable of and a data point nonetheless. Now I know that this method isn't the most scientific, as I can't account for the different track conditions and variables that can affect the performance of a vehicle, but it is data that we have. Just take the data with a grain of salt, and remember, I'm not a professional driver. This event was also the last time I was on track. That means I've had 17 months where I haven't had any seat time on track, and I'm coming back with a car that is essentially brand new to me. I've got a lot of rust to knock off, to say the least. That takes care of the first excuses for me being slow, so now we can move on. The BRZ hasn't seen many changes since the first mods video. To recap, the only performance modifications on the car are the Infinity Designs carbon fiber air intake and the compressive tuning titanium axle back with mufflers. Both items give the BRZ a touch more performance, but still within the realm of a stock car when talking lap times. The only other items we've changed are the brake fluid, and we installed some SPC camber bolts. The Brembo package on the TS is still running the OEM supplied brake pads, but at minimum, I always change the brake fluid to something more heat resistant for track work. Motul RBF 660 has been my go-to for all my track vehicles for over a decade. The consistent hard braking lap after lap is just too much for OEM fluids. And experiencing brake fade on track is something many racers will agree is something they never want to experience again. Adding camber bolts wasn't a necessary change, but I just couldn't say no to how effective they are while being so simple and inexpensive to change out. The added negative camber will give us more stability while cornering and help to even out tire wear. A welcome addition to a car that will see many laps on the track. We've got the car ready, so it's time to head to the track. I want to mention here our previous video where we talk about track prep and getting yourself and your car ready for your first track day. If you're a beginner, I feel it would benefit you to watch that video if you have any interest in getting your car to the track. That video will be in the card above and in the description. Today, we are with Speed SF and driving the BRZ in their slower advanced driver group. This group is a no point buy required session intended for drivers that have a lot of track experience but may not have a very fast car or are just getting familiar with a new track or vehicle, so their lap times aren't near what faster cars and drivers are capable of. This group will be perfect for me as I need to get acclimated with the new car and the BRZ still being essentially stock. With that out of the way, let's jump into some of the action where I attempt to give you guys a bit of insight into the car, the track, and the experience of driving the world famous Laguna Seca Raceway.
Okay guys, geared up, ready for my third session. I'm still chasing a sub 150 lap time. Again, this is not a video game. The video game I was able to run a 145.9, I believe. 145.9 or 146, one of those two times. I'm well off of that pace. Obviously the car has it, as we've run a hot shoot. Joe McGuigan, one of the fastest guys I've met so far. Obviously, there's even faster drivers out here in the NorCal region, and he was able to put down 146.5 his first session out with the car. He's got a lot of experience with these cars, got a lot of experience with Laguna, so of course he's going to be faster, but still, that really just makes me want to focus on that driver development and getting this car faster in the current configuration. That's what it's all about here at the track. It's about your limits and the car's limits, but for the most part, it's going to be your limits that slow you down or don't allow you to get to that optimal lap time. So I urge you guys, get out on track. It is a bit of investment, of course. It's not inexpensive, but you don't have to go crazy. And we have a mostly stock vehicle out here running Laguna Seca and running an okay lap time, having a good time, finding my limits, finding the limits of the car, and thinking about those things that we're going to improve for the next time. So, third session, call out to grid. Let's head out to the track, and let's put in a flyer. All right, let's cross the line here into Andretti corner, all the way down to second gear there. Slow, patient corner. to hit that late apex to come out. Man, the car just rotates so easily. Try to keep it nice and smooth into turn 4 here. Back on the throttle, bring it to the outside and shift into 4th. Back into 3rd for turn 5. Back on the throttle to come up the hill. Use some of that curving to keep the speed up. Try to ride 4th gear through turn 6. Oh man, so much compression on that turn. And it kicks you out as you run up the hill to the famous corkscrew. Let my buddy Joe go on the inside in his E46. Oh, he's tail happy. That's fun. The car has so much rotation on turn-in. Some of these faster drivers come through. Man, these guys have some speed out here on Laguna. Oh, a little bit off there. That's okay. Just a dip of the tire. I'm trying to keep up with some of this faster traffic on track here. Trying to bring in some more entry speed with this car. That's one thing I'm struggling with, is that higher entry speed. Ah man, the front end is there. The front end is there, guys. I just don't have the confidence. God, it rotates. Man, this car is a ton of fun. Could I be going faster? Absolutely. Maybe I'd be having a little bit more fun going fast, but we'll be seeing that in the future when we get some more mods on the car. As I go around that 911, get some speed here. Try to get a fast and clean lap in. Oh man. The dynamics of the car, fantastic. Really communicates. The back end's very progressive, easy to catch. Oh man, do that one a little bit, that's okay. Still got that apex. .151.46 so far on this session. Another thing I'm noticing, that the oil temps, the other thing I'm noticing is that the oil temps are a little high. I'm seeing 250-ish right now on the digital gauge, so I'm sure this car is getting some timing pulled, and I'm gonna cool her down just a little bit, just so we can see if those temps come down a little bit. 151.4. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get it this session, guys. It's been a long time since I've been on the track. My body's not used to it. It's been a while. Takes its toll on you mentally. We're in the later sessions as well in the afternoon. The track's a little warmer. So, a lot of excuses for me to not hit that optimal lap time. That's okay, still having a lot of fun. Learning this BRZ, and I'm out at Laguna Seca in Monterey. I mean, come on. I can't think of a better way to spend the weekend. Let's talk a little bit about what I'm struggling with the car. I mean, biggest thing as far as lap times go, I feel is entry speed. I'm a little reserved there. I am cautious, and I know the car can do it, but it's me that's the limiting factor on that. Getting a little bit more entry speed, having confidence in that front end so that it will take the corner and then the rear end will follow and be there. The next thing, as comfortable as this seat is, I'm moving around a lot. You're just gonna have that unless you've got a full bucket seat with harnesses. You're just gonna be fighting that, and that's what I'm dealing with. I'm sliding around in the car, and I'm bracing myself in with my knees, and it makes for a difficult time when you're fighting yourself and the car to put down a good lap time. The other thing is that those oil temps, looking down and seeing those, seeing it be close to that 270 mark on the digital gauge. I'll have to see what they actually are if we can pull some data. But again, stock, no oil cooler, no aftermarket oil cooler. Of course, there's the OEM one, but doesn't really do much on track days like this when you are lapping lap after lap at your limit, right? Really getting the most out of the car as you can. You're just gonna have to deal with those oil temps with these cars. It's even a stock car, a stock BRZ TS with an alignment, that's it, some crash bolts, and we're seeing some pretty high temps on a moderately cool day here. I think temps are in the high 60s today, full sunshine here in Monterey. But yeah, you'll see those temps, and they'll be a little bit worrisome. So I think that's some of the stuff that we'll be definitely tackling next, is getting some oil cooling on this car just for that reliability sake, just for that peace of mind. Definitely want to do that as we then also start to add things like wheels and tires and suspension to the car, which I absolutely know that will bring up a lot of confidence. For me, I just have so much more experience and time with those Super 200 treadwear tires, RE71 RS, Falcon RT660, that's just what I run on most of my track cars. So definitely do that. I don't know when we're going to do seats on this car, honestly. I think it will definitely be a benefit, but I'm probably going to stick with these stock seats for a while, just because I kind of want to keep this first phase to be very daily friendly still. Definitely something that you'll be able to drive to the track, have a good time, learn a lot, develop yourself, and then still drive home, be very comfortable, and still have a fun canyon car that really hasn't gone off the rails yet. So that's what I'm thinking for the first stage, but definitely a seat would help to drop those times, to make me feel the car a little bit better and keep me in place so I'm not fighting it. Definitely would help. But overall, really, really excited about this BRZ. This thing is a hoot in stock form, man. I really enjoy this car. The first gen FRS that I had in stock form, yeah, it was fun, but on track, it was pretty underwhelming. This car is a handful. This car gets you going. There's enough power. There's plenty of cornering speed that you can get out of this vehicle to make it to where you are working on the track. So really awesome job with the second gen, and doing this on track with this car has been a blast. I'm looking forward to modifying it and learning a bit more and getting myself back in the shape of being on the track at the limit, because I need to work on that too.
I am not going to lie to you guys. I struggled out there. I had a lot of things I was trying to accomplish, and I feel like I fell short on most of it. Maybe I was just trying to do too much on my return to the track. Either way, I did enjoy myself out there, and we've come back to the shop knowing that I have a lot to learn from and work on. The track isn't going anywhere, and we are just getting started with the BRZ, so let's dig into what happened and what we need to improve. My fastest lap for the day was a 150.76, while the data shows an optimal lap of 148.86. So I already know I am leaving time on the table. But overall, that means we currently have a delta of over 8 seconds to the GT3. We've got a lot of work to do to close that gap. But let's talk about where that delta came from and what went well with our little BRZ. The most obvious disadvantage the BRZ has is power. There's a big gulf in performance from the 3.8 liter flat 6 in the GT3 to the 2.4 liter Boxer 4 powering the BRZ. Having over a 200 horsepower deficit to the GT3 just simply means the BRZ doesn't have the straightaway speeds to keep up. For example, the front straight going into the Andretti hairpin, the GT3 is hitting about 118 miles an hour, while the BRZ is just touching 109 miles an hour. I can also tell you that I was also being pretty timid on the front straight with the GT3, cresting after the finish line. So there's more speed there if I wanted or could handle it. This speed delta obviously happens anywhere the track is straight, and I'm able to put the power down with the GT3. So this exponentially gains time over the BRZ over the course of a full lap. Now, here is where things get good for our BRZ. The lightweight chassis and great balance means the BRZ punches well above its weight in the corners. Let's take a look at turn 6, where you can see mid-corner speeds of 71 miles an hour for the GT3 and 72 miles an hour for the BRZ. In turn 5, we are seeing the GT3 hit 61 mile an hour and the BRZ is at 56 miles an hour. We're only seeing a small delta of 1 to 5 mile an hour in cornering speeds to the GT3. That is incredible, given that the tires on the BRZ are the factory Michelin PS4 tires, while the GT3 is wearing a more track-focused Michelin Cup 2. That means there's more time to gain in the corners just with a simple tire compound swap. It also goes to show you just how quickly I can become comfortable in the BRZ compared to the GT3. I just have more experience tracking well-balanced front-engine, rear-wheel drive vehicles. Overall, the BRZ did great for its first outing on the track, and it's basically stock. Most of my complaints are related to my own performance and getting myself back to being comfortable in the car and on track. The BRZ might be lacking in power compared to cars like the GT3, but the chassis, suspension, brakes, and balance made the car a delight to drive on track while being pretty quick. Now, I could go a little deeper, but let's keep things high level. And if you're interested in seeing my best recorded laps overlaid without commentary, we will have that for you at the end of the video, along with some bonus footage from my friend and local hot shoe, Joe McGuigan, where he takes out our BRZ to show me what it can really do. So, what's next for the BRZ? Well, for the sake of my wallet, we're going to continue to take incremental steps of improvement and modification. Many of you watching already know that a tire compound change will bring significant improvements, and this is a pretty standard change to make when tracking your car. With the added grip from the tire change, we will likely want to change out the brake compound as well. The OEM pads held up just fine, but once you start getting into track tire compounds, the added grip can start to overpower those factory pads. Plus, we will be wearing through those OEM pads quickly if we continue to track the vehicle. And you know we're going to continue to track the vehicle. So those small changes will definitely be coming up, but we will leave you thinking about what other surprises we might have next for the BRZ. What do you guys think we should do next? Let's see some of those answers in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace.
46.3 predictive, 46.6 actual lap. I really think there's a 45, high 45 if I could string it together. Whew. Man, stock brakes hold up pretty well on the Brembos. But woo, they smell though. Oh boy, they're stinky. Nice being able to hear things in this car. Having the intake and the exhaust gives a nice, note that I can hear. Been a while since I've been in a stock Gen 2. It's still very impressive what these cars can do. 46.6 on a semi-warm afternoon. It's not super hot here, but it is, midday. And it pulled timing. I could feel pull timing. This car is currently running no oil cooler. So that'll be an upgrade I'm sure Yo and his team will put on. And that'll help combat it some, at least from the timing perspective. And, just help it keep the power. That 46.6 lap, I could feel it just like kind of falling off in the upper end. But overall, very impressive what these cars can do stock. I still recommend them today for someone trying to get into tracking. This is one of the best budget track cars you can get. It's comfortable for daily driving. Mileage isn't terrible. If you're a bigger guy like me, you'll fit. I'm a little scrunched up within a stock seat, but if you get one of the approved 4-point harnesses that like a harness bar or something can hold you in a little bit better, that's something I desperately need because I'm moving around a lot, finding myself. But again, stock car. Well, we're talking a 32 grand car versus a 200 plus grand car that comes with carbon buckets like a P car would. So very impressive with what it can do. Good cars. The OEM Satch suspension, again, works great. If you're tracking them consistently, you are going to wear through them. Becomes a wear item, but if you're trying to keep everything stock and just do some camber plates, you can't go wrong with the OEM Satch. They feel phenomenal on track. With that automatic that we have for rental, we've done just tires in the OEM suspension, and the cars handled it great. Again, very, very impressive what these cars can do with next to no mods to them. Again, brake-wise, 100% stock TS brakes, OEM pads, calipers. The only thing done is some better fluid, and I can smell it. I can definitely smell that the brakes are getting hot. Still works, still stops, still able to charge into turn 2 really well. So no complaints there. Honestly, like with the OEM tire, it's paired perfectly. You can get plenty of brake to slow the car down and not feel like you're overpowering the tires, and then the inverse of that too. You're not overtired and making the brakes work hard. It's a very, very comfortable pairing of things. So yeah, definitely subscribe to their channel so you guys can learn more and watch the development of this car. I'm sure I'll be thrown back in again in another day with some more mods done to it, and we'll see how it progresses.